There was a lot of red flags that came up, and I just chose to maybe believe him. Like the way our lives were set up, I had a house in West Hollywood, um, that Doritos bought. I had a house in West Hollywood. He had a house in like Burbank. We then bought a house together, but I wasn't living in that house. He was living in that house. We never lived together, right? That was that period of my life when I was telling you, like, I was always working. Like I would go to New York once a month. I was working like it was like nonstop. So I was really busy. And he would go to Vegas with his friends, and he would, do all these different things, moving around in LA and the night scene or whatever. Like I didn't even have friends that did that. Like I didn't even have a girlfriend to say, hey, I saw him here doing this, because they didn't do that. Like that's not what my friends did. So it really took him going, I think it was like his bachelor party, where they got a picture of like him drunk and a girl standing between his legs, and like he's like slobbered, and like, and then I see it. There wasn't social media at the time. Like this was in like 90, I don't know, 98? I don't know. So there was nothing
90s.
there. Like we barely had the internet, right? So it had to come in like the Inquirer. And when I saw that, of course, he tried to say that it was not. And that was like, people are trying to break you up, and people are just saying all these things. But, I had that feeling in my gut. But again, at the same time, Oprah's filming the wedding, and all my family's flying in. It was in Mexico, flying in there. And it was like a big People magazine. It was like a big thing. And I don't think that I was strong enough. And there were other things that came up after that. I don't think I was strong enough to stop it before.
Well, that's understandable when there's like, it's in motion. Like I could see that being a hard thing that someone would speak up and just want to stop.
Now who I am, like the person that I am now, I would be like, stop.
You'd be like, it's over.
I was just still young and still naive and still like, trying to people please and all that.
Did you, like, after this happened, like, were people like reaching out to you? Because it was a different time with social media. Were people, like, oh my God, this is horrible? Or listen, there are certain TV shows where the fans are so just like, it's like a cult. Did you have people being like, like backlash basically, even though there should be no backlash towards you, just like these crazy Saved by the Bell fans that were like,
no, I think I think he was like up for a job. They didn't hire him. Like everybody was like, oh my gosh, like how could he have done like first of all, he didn't deserve her. Like, thank you for saying that. Whoever said that. There are a lot of people who said that, or like, what like all these things, but never, not one single thing against like me, which I greatly obviously appreciate that. But not like it would, for me, it was more important for me to like heal my heart. I felt like I was still very young. I was still young. I did feel like I had a little bit of baggage because I obviously had a divorce, right? I didn't want that in my life. I mean, my gosh, I'm on the list of like shortest marriages in Hollywood. Like it comes up as a Google alert every year. Embarrassing. Like my parents are still together. Like, how is that my life? So all of that, and then he's come out with some things, but anyway, whatever. But yeah, that was that time, and everybody was very kind, for sure.
That's good, because you never know, look at the way that social media works today.
Of course.
And then we'll move on. This is my last question about this, I promise. But did you watch?
I can, what'll probably happen after this airs is somebody will say, oh my gosh, she's still talking about this after like, however many years. But you know what, this is how I feel. I mean, first of all, you and I are having a conversation like we're getting to know each other. But I will say, I think that story is really important for me to always share if asked, because so many women go through that kind of breakup and they don't end up, it doesn't, the other side is not so great for them. I think you could easily go down a road of destruction, of anger, of bitterness, resentment. And I did not. Like, I would love to give women like hope. For me, it was really digging into my faith and knowing that there was something greater for me. And I needed to believe that and hold on to that. So that's why I share that story. Not to ever put him down. I wish him the best, his family the best. I have forgiven him. That was hard for me to do because I was like, does forgiving mean that was okay? No, forgiving means I release it because I'm not carrying that. I don't need that on me, right? So it was all of that. And that's the only reason I will share this story over and over again. It's the part of the fabric of my life. It changed me as a person, and can say today was the best thing that ever happened to me.
That makes sense. And like, it's a way, I'm sure there are plenty of people like gay, straight, man, women that right this minute are thinking or are getting married in 6 weeks, 2 weeks, that are, there's people that are having doubts right now. I can guarantee you that.
Call me. Let's talk.
And if anyone says, why are you still talking about this? You could just give them my email or Instagram and just blame it on me.
I'm blaming it all on David.
You could blame it all on me, but have you like, do you, I mean, you know, it's a small world. Like, do you ever run in?
I know you're going to ask me that. So in the beginning, I would ask my publicist, like, is he going to be at that event? Sometimes I said yes, and I would not, like, I'm not that desperate for press. Like, I was like, well, then I'm not going to go, because I just don't even want that. You know, he never apologized. So for me, it's just like weird. I'm good. I don't need you to be like, I don't know. So I always just kind of stayed away. But there was an event that I went to now, I think, that he was there, and we never ran into each other. And, you know, he has a family. I have my incredible little family. But it's still awkward. It's still awkward when you have to move on from a situation like that, when there is, you know, there was no apology from the other side. Like, you don't even know if they feel bad, you know, like you had to do all this work, and like, you know, your life is changed and you're doing all this stuff, and then they just like, la, 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 you know, like nothing is going on. So I don't know. I'm glad we haven't run into each other.
And okay, these are literally my final two questions. And if you did run into each other, like face to face, what would you say?
I mean, hi, I don't know. Hi, how are you? That would be the extent of it.
And did you watch Saved by the Bell growing up? That was my question that I really wanted to ask.
I did, but I never thought he was cute and Saved by the Bell. I thought the little crop perm situation was horrendous, but he's a total charmer. And, you know, when I met him, it was a different story, but I did watch it.
I'm just curious.
But I won't let my daughter watch it on the rerun. I won't let her watch it. I don't think.
That's fine.
Obsessed with shows. Like right now, they are so into Sister Sister, which I'm very good friends with Tamara. And I had to literally text Tamara. All I hear is like, Tamara sings in real life. Tamara, oh my gosh, she's so funny. And Jackée does this. And like, that's like all I heard for like, I don't know how long, weeks, until she finished like however many, like 20 seasons. I don't know. So I can't have that in my house. Imagine my kid like, oh, and da-da-da-da. No, we're not doing that.
Have your kids ever said, like, what's this show, Saved by the Bell, and they just discovered it?
My daughter knows what happened only because at the farmer's market, a guy where I buy my soap, my goat milk soap, he said, hey, you were married to, and I could hear my daughter's like one of those kids, like she likes to be in the business of all the adults. I could just hear her ears like, ding, 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 ding. Like, what do you say? So I got so upset because I hadn't told my child, I hadn't told her this. This was like last year. I hadn't said anything to her. And now I have to like totally have a conversation with her because the guy at the farmer's market decided to, you know, spill the beans. So I did share with her a little bit, and not in a lot of detail. She didn't need to know. So she would put the pieces together.
But if she came and said, I want to watch Saved by the Bell,